Hey, YouTube, Wedgie here. So, I've been watching all the videos that everybody's been putting out regarding the remote ID that's coming up September 16th. And there's some issues that I've kind of had with a few of them, such as child safety and uh, basically comparing remote ID and drone regulation to firearms. Okay, look, I understand that this is a semi political uh, issue. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. This is a semi political issue because, I mean, obviously, it's the government telling us what we can or cannot do. Um, but I really don't think we should be fear mongering or trying to compare apples and oranges, if you will. Um, the fear mongering saying, oh, our children will be in danger if they're going out to the park to fly their drone. Well, you should be with them, be a parent. Um, I mean, after all, you're having them, or they're going out, they're putting a model in the air that could possibly cause property damage, and even though it could be slight, uh, some personal injury. So you should be with them. Teach them the proper, safe ways to operate these models, and also so that way there's a level of situational awareness. Um, I realize that some of these drones are extremely easy to fly, such as the DJIs and other automated drones. I mean, you push a button, they take off, they fly around, they do whatever you tell them to do. You could put them on an autopilot of sorts that they will visually track a target. Um, so, yeah, I get that. But still, responsibility is there. As a parent, as an adult, teach them how to operate safely. And that means you should be there with them. Um, as far as comparing drones to firearms, someone mentioned in a video that there are less regulations and it's easier to get a firearm than it is to get a drone. That is 100% bullshit. There are a lot more regulations on firearms: Gun Control Act, National Firearms Act, um, not to mention various local and state regulations. Now, some states have, like here in Kentucky, we have constitutional permitless carry. Um, in Louisville, the city I live, police are not allowed to disarm us unless we have committed a crime, about to commit a crime, or are currently committing a crime. Those are the similar to if a cop asks you for ID, you don't have to give your ID unless you meet those three criteria. But anyways, yeah, cops are not allowed to disarm us unless we meet those criteria. But again, that's a regulation, a rule, um, and is protected by the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, um, which obviously there's nothing in the Constitution about RC modeling. So again, don't compare apples and oranges. Um, I know people are trying to, and I'm guilty of this myself, comparing remote ID to digital license plates. Yes, I know that it's more than a digital license plate. It's a tracking device and whatnot. But yeah, I, apparently people are having a hard time understanding analogies. Uh, it is an analogy to say it's a digital license plate. It's not. it's not something to be taken literal. Um, but yeah, I mean, obviously a registration and a license plate kind of go hand in hand. Um, it is a way. I mean, remote ID is supposed to be a way to identify that a drone is compliant, even though, I mean, I see a lot of problems with people going to parks flying sub 250 and Karen's coming up and not staying in their lane and, oh, what are you doing? Your drone's not on the remote ID app. Well, guess what? Mind your fucking business and leave me the hell alone. Um, I see a lot of physical altercations resulting from this type of behavior. Um, but again, this also falls under situational awareness. Know your surroundings, know what's going to happen, and be responsible. It doesn't matter if you're complying or not, but be responsible. Be responsible about this stuff. Um, I mean, if you're flying sub 250 and you're not part 107, so you don't have to worry about it, fly to your heart's content. Of course, yeah, you're probably going to have to deal with some of these Karens. If you're not part 107, you're recreational, but you're flying a 5 inch that's obviously over 250 gram, um, and someone is giving you some grief, um, the best thing to do, I mean, if you have a means of getting away from this situation, get away from this situation. Save yourself the hassle of possibly dealing with law enforcement and possibly some fines. Um, Now, I mean, I don't know what the FAA is saying the fines are going to be. Um, I imagine it's going to be fairly hefty. I imagine at least $10,000 fines. I imagine they're going to do the same with anybody that uh, doesn't comply. There's going to probably be $10,000 worth of fines. And yeah, you might get it knocked down a bit through plea deals or whatever, but it's still a pain in the butt. I mean, to have to go through that mess and fight the federal government just because you wanted to go fly in the park. It's a load of shit. We all know it. But we have to be somewhat responsible. We have to be safe. We have to use some common sense. Not flying over people, not flying where we're not supposed to. Um, just like I said, common sense stuff. Be situationally aware, so that way you're not going to get jumped or anything. So if you are if you are in compliance, if you're part 107 and you have that remote ID on your drone, um, please be responsible. Have someone else there with you, um, so that way they can be situationally aware for you. And if someone comes up to try to uh, jack you for your gear or whatever, hopefully, and I say this, I know, I mean, this is my own personal belief, I'm not going to be anywhere without my sidearm. But hopefully there's no issues that result in that. So, I mean, let's all just do the smart things, people, and be responsible. Be responsible parents, and let's educate, not alienate. All right? You all have a good one. I'll see y'all later.